Dr. Gearóid Ó Shaibhreáin and Dr. Geraldine Cotter are in studio with me this evening, and celebration time really, because two books, one each, and they're going to be launched in the next little while here in County Clare. So you're both very, very welcome, first of all, to the West Wind. Lovely to have you in. Might start with you, Gearóid. Gearóid, it's been a while in your head, I suppose, really, the book. I mean, a while means decades, possibly.
Yeah, I guess I was very fortunate, like Geraldine, to grow up in Ennis and in Clare in the 1970s, when we had a lot of great older musicians. And I think the first experience I had of actually writing about music was in December of 1973. I was sent up to Peterswell to write a report on Joe Cooley's funeral. And I have to say that Joe Cooley drove us all crazy when he came back for those few months before he died, and it was just a wonderful time. And when he died, I remember going to the funeral, and I was tasked more or less by the Clare Champion to write a little report on the funeral, and I spoke to a whole lot of people in Peterswell at the funeral, people who knew Joe, his neighbours. His brother Jack was there, and I remember being truly astonished, I suppose, by the wealth of oral history and folklore, and the history, the oral history and the oral knowledge that lived around the music. And for me, that was, I suppose, a point of departure. I had gone to school like everyone else, you know, and experienced history in books. And here was a different kind of history. Here was a history that lived among the people and within the music and around the tunes and the places from which music came and flourished. And that was my point really of departure. Now, the book itself that will be launched in a couple of weeks was written over the last, I guess, 5 to 7 years, and it's I guess a compendium of all of my research, but it's actually a chronological history of music in Clare from the Napoleonic Wars down to the Celtic Tiger, with a break chapter in the middle, what I call a cyclical history of the musical year in Clare. So it is 200 years, I guess, of music in Clare, but also music from Clare that engaged with the external world. I use the idea of the flowing tide as a musical experience that brought music into Clare, but also a musical experience that brought music out of Clare to the external world, because, you know, Clare music is world music, and it is music that's loved and appreciated by people all over the world, from, you know, Canada to the United States to Argentina to Australia, New Zealand, and we're part of a huge world family, and that's what the book is about. The actual title is Flowing Tides, History and Memory in an Irish Soundscape. It's published by Oxford University Press. It comes with a companion website which has a whole lot of archive material that I've collected in the last 40 years. So that will be available to whoever buys the book. Historical photographs, obviously, rare recordings of Michael Russell and Willie Clancy, and wonderful interview extracts. So that's all part of the package. The book is dedicated to Peadar O'Loughlin in Kilmaley, primarily because his voice is a major voice in the book. He's, I guess, and I speak for Geraldine as well, and all of us, all of the younger musicians in Clare, Peadar was really our druid. In every sense. He brought great musicians to Clare. The Kilmaley concert series in our youth was really the high point of the year, and he dedicated hours and hours of interviews to me over the years, and these interviews are really the backbone of the book. And his voice speaks and resonates throughout the book, and in that sense I'll be forever grateful for everything he's given me. He's been a wonderful mentor and a great friend.
I've read a lot of the book, the ebook, and found it, well, I found it quite emotional, I suppose, coming from where I'm sitting, and I found it intriguing, and I found it very emotional, because what I loved about it really was all the people you've mentioned that I've never heard mentioned in a book, or perhaps never even seen or heard a track from them, but you have remembered a lot of people who, as you say, you know, like Geraldine just said, there were the quieter people, great musicians who kept the music alive when it wasn't as popular as it is today. And I just felt a huge sense of emotion, and I was just blown away by the fact that you have remembered these, and forever now they are on paper, they are documented, and they will be remembered, and their names will be passed along to future generations. So you have